One. Hey guys, this is Dardamos with Dardamos Dominions. I'm back again with Kirby.
Hello.
And we have a special episode with the Ohm player, RCK79. Say hi.
I'm not playing Ohm, I'm playing Sceleria.
Oh, you're playing. Oh my goodness, you're playing Sceleria.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
I wondered why you were focusing on Ohm. I was like, that's kind of odd.
You're playing Sceleria?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh darn it, I was really excited about talking to the Ohm player.
What?
Let's get him in here. No, just kidding. So you were saying this is your second game.
Yep, second game. And my first game was one I got on earlier that day. It was Zan's huge Elf Circle game or whatever.
So this is technically still within your first game.
Yes. I haven't finished a multiplayer game yet.
Kirby, what do you think about his for being his first game or second game? What do you think about him so far?
Sceleria, good choice.
One of my favorites. Even though I haven't played many multiplayer games, I have played since Dominions 4, and I saw Dominions 5 come out, but I never really got onto the multiplayer.
Well, I'm going to tell you, dude, I'm impressed.
I'd say Sceleria would have to be one of my best played nations. One of my favorites. Of course, it's very strong.
When I got into Dominions, the live Sceleria was still a thing.
Well,
where you'd go scales and try to pump out their really good troops. And Lucid has kind of, I don't know, made that extinct. But you're still doing it.
The thing about that, I wouldn't say at this point in the game I still am, yes. But at that point, I don't have many castles set up. So it's hard to mass produce skeletons at that point. When you really want to start mass producing skeletons, is at a point where people really can't come in and just completely shut you down.
Like you look like you're going completely skeleton.
Yeah, for the most part. I had a really tough time in the beginning with the indies, but once I started rolling with the javelins and stuff, my velites, things just I had a lot of income, so I never really got stopped with building castles. And at that point, when you're making 2 cultists a turn, there's no point in stopping.
All right, so answer this question for us because it is off debated at this point. What do you think about your starting position?
Oh, it was pretty crap. I got really lucky, but it was pretty crap.
This was the worst starting location I think I've ever seen, bar maybe 1 or 2. If you would have went heat scales, you would have been screwed.
Yeah, for sure. Now, if I would have lost any of those opening expansions, that would have made my life a whole lot harder in this game. But even still, like I know I had a very low providence start whenever compared to other nations anyway. But I have some really good ones income base wise anyway, so I think that's what's pulling me out. And there was no underwater nation, and Aramore didn't go into the water as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very going underwater is going to help you a lot. The elephants. Why did you pick because you actually made some of the sacreds. What do you think about the sacreds, and why did you use them against the elephants?
I'd say the only good thing about the sacreds is that they're ethereal, and that's the only reason I used them against elephants. Now, I was hoping they were going to run right into the elephants, but they caught some of the velites, and some of the ethereal units did hit the elephants at the same time. But I mean, at least I won that providence because I really didn't have nowhere else to go. I didn't want to go across the lake right then and try to hit the cav or the lizards at the time, because I wanted to see how far up I could push. Because having Ashdod that close to me, I thought he was going to go straight. Well, I thought maybe he was going to hit the Barbarian Province and start moving into my land because I'm weaker off in the beginning of the game. But thankfully he didn't. And I did notice, since my scales went really fast, or my scales expanded pretty fast, I could tell that province north of the bridge right there was very, very high in income, and I just try to
The
beeline
farm
straight to
one.
that one.
Oh, this one right here.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's a
I'm
25,000
actually
province.
I don't know if you know this, but the province northwest of that he's had for a long time. That was
Yep.
probably his second province he got, and you were really lucky that he didn't come across to Gintmark 68 here and cut you off from the bridge.
I am really surprised as well. And
That's
Van,
no, keep going.
and also Vanheim expanded really fast too, and I'm surprised they didn't take more of the land I'm currently sitting on than they did.
Yeah, it was one of the questions I was hoping that I could talk to the Elm player and ask him why the heck he didn't go here.
Because I don't even think it was that hard of a fight, to be honest. I don't think there was much there whenever I attacked it.
Yeah, it was a really easy province. You just took it last turn. It was nothing more than a bunch of infantry.
Yeah.
Now, who are you scared of, and who is going to be one of your first goals?
I feel like the Ohm player is going to cause me, or at least try to come after me to begin with. But at this point, I was just trying to just finish off, catch some of the provinces on the left side. Since my scales, I went cold 3. I was able to cross the river, which was very, very helpful. Because that would have been terrible if not.
We don't spoil us too much, but yeah. What else? Sorry. What are your expansions? So your goals are to hit over here, and then are you thinking about going more into water?
I am. Because I felt like at this point, Marignan, Vanheim, or Pangea, how are they going to fight me in the water? I just figured at that point it was just free income.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Ballin and I feel like Kirby. I haven't asked him, but we're really impressed with your play so far. And you said this is your second game. Where did you learn? Where did you find out your information from?
I've watched a couple of videos from just people trying to analyze the nation itself. I've watched a little bit of Lucid's games. They're pretty good. And I've even in Dominions 4, I've always played Sceleria. Now it might have been just single player Sceleria, but I still enjoyed playing Sceleria. Um, that's really it, to be honest.
Really, that's actually really impressive, dude. Did you watch Lucid's his series on Sceleria?
I've watched a little bit of it, and it was pretty interesting.
Now, what are your research goals for this game?
Let me see if I got the game open, if I remember everything. Right now, I think at that point in the game, I was heading towards enchantment, at least trying to hit enchantment 5 for Horde of Skeletons. Even though I thought Vanheim was going to hit me first, so I felt like the best thing I could do at that point was trying to get to Horde of Skeletons, and it would just mass off, or I'd be able to destroy the Van's high defense skill, bring it down with the harass ability from just having a mass amount of skeletons. And then after that, heading down alteration.
And what's in alteration?
Darkness and rigor mortis, I believe, at 5 and 6. I think.
Yeah, you're correct. Well, darkness is alteration 6. Rigor mortis, I want to say is enchantment.
Is that enchantment?
I think
Can't
it
remember.
is.
Yeah, I think it's enchantment.
Yeah, there it is. That's the big, as an undead nation, especially if you've got bad research, like Airmore, is do you go enchantment 6 or do you go alteration 6?
It's a little harder with Sceleria than Airmore because Scalarian mages are not undead.
Do you cast Rigor Mortis as Sceleria?
Depending on who you're playing with or playing against at that time. Because I assume majority of Ulm's troops are going to be the mages casting Iron Blizzard, stuff like that. So I just wanted to fatigue him out because that's going to be my main problem with fighting Ulm is if he brought Iron Blizzard to the board because it's just going to wipe away my skeletons like nothing.
Now, how do you feel about? We just actually had this debate, Kirby. You've got a throne in your border. Which how do you feel about having that throne in your capsule?
Not a fan, but eventually it'll be easier to take. I think one of those turns I might have pinged it either this turn or the next turn, but it turned out just to be lore masters. There was no wizards or fire elementals or anything, so it wasn't too hard of a throne to take.
Okay. So you don't think that you'll probably take this within the next year or so? Next 12 turns?
I believe I took it within the next 12 turns, yes.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Now, are you going to, I'm guessing, are you going to be trying to go for a war, or will you be sitting on the defensive until somebody comes to you?
Well, I tried as many naps as I could. Marignon came with me offering me a nap. Vanheim, I believe, said something about a nap. Pangea agreed to a nap 3, and Ulm was radio silent. That's the only reason I was worried about Ulm. And that was all of the... Huh?
I can actually go look. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so only Ulm has not given you a nap so far.
Yep. He didn't reply to me at all.
Oh, jeez.
So that's the only thing that was worrisome at the time, but he hasn't... At this point in the game, he hasn't done anything, and even later on, I still don't think he's done anything. So...
How are you liking the open diplomacy, by the way?
I like it. I do. At first, I wasn't too familiar with it, and I did send somebody a message, and then like the next day, I was like, "Huh, he didn't send me a message back." And I went and looked. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. This is all game channel diplomacy. It's like my bad."
The thing that I like about the diplomacy all on board is for players like you and Airmore, where normally there's some secret coalition going on in back rooms. You can't get that this time. Do you now with your first game that you're playing? How are you liking the diplomacy in contrast? Because the two games are one's open, one's not. Which one do you like more, and which one do you like less, or why?
I enjoy the open one currently because even though, like at this point in the game, since I'm focusing on building either thaumaturgs or cultists, I have literally almost no spies at all. I might have one or two going around. So having the open diplo, like I kind of know what's going on inside the game without having the spies out there.
You haven't gotten lucky with any indie scouts anywhere?
None at all. None at all.
Wow.
That'll happen sometimes.
I'm that 200 or 2500 might have had some, but at this point it's just focused on building cultists and thaumaturgs to withstand Ulm.
Yeah, at this point I can actually see you having you have a scout here already. So.
That's what I noticed too. But other than that, I think that's the only area other than my capital I can build scouts at.
And what's cool about that is that they can also be your fort makers.
True.
Oh, one of the questions that we had, you sent one of your what are they called? Your little mages that's got low pass and as a holy. You sent one. Yeah, probably.
Astral 1, Death 1, I think.
You were sending them along with your army. Why were you sending them along with your army? I
had to send the what are they called? The sacreds, the ethereal sacreds.
Your sacreds are undead, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep. And I could not send them with anything else. The are they called Vestals? Shadow Vestals.
Shadow Vestals.
So that was the only way I was able to send them, unfortunately. I would have liked the research at the time, but
We were thinking that you were trying to build, like, my thought was that you wanted to move them in and then build your lab and your temple after moving them in. But,
Well, it was convenient sending the thaumaturg in just because I started building, I believe, a fort on it the next turn, but it was just, it's kind of annoying. They also have the undead to be non-amphibious either. That's also annoying as well. That's why I only use them in the early game for the expansion because they're decent against indie, even though they cost a good bit. But as far as late game goes, I doubt you'd see them at all.
you're talking the because the cultists are able to make how many different types of undead?
They can make
Ghouls, right?
Can they make ghouls? They reanimate? Yeah, they can make ghouls, soulless, and long dead warriors.
And then the higher tier priests can make long dead horsemen, I think.
Yep,
Really?
that is correct. That is correct. And can the thaumaturgs make anything different? Nope, it's just long dead horsemen as well, as long as everything else.
Yeah, but it's all the same stuff you would get from like casting the spells, like the long dead horseman spell or the reanimator spell or whatever.
Yep, yep.
It's nothing special. Like the Vestals, those are gold units. You can't actually reanimate Vestals.
Yeah. For this turn right here that you notice, I did stop my research at that one turn just to start expanding into the sea or the little lake there. Because I
Research in the. Okay, yeah. Sorry, this is our second episode, and that's about my limit. Or this is our third episode, and 2 is my limit, so I'm going to be kind of zoned out here. So you said you stopped. Was it this attack?
Yep. This is
Okay.
when I spent a turn, and I think I turned majority of my thaumaturgs into reanimating instead of researching at the time, and
Okay.
then
This was.
and I
I'm kind of curious to your thought on this one because this was a. Oh, keep going. Sorry, I'm totally.
no, you're good, you can
So
play that battle.
you said you spent one turn to get long dead in, correct?
Yep.
And then what else were you doing with those? Are you moving back to research again then at this point?
Yes, after that turn, I did turn back to researching because if you notice in that fort, I started producing cultists.
This one down here?
Yep, and they're going to be continuously making long dead for the rest of their lives.
Now, this battle right here, I don't know
That
if
was
you
very
remember.
unfortunate. I thought it was going to go a lot better than it did.
Now, do you think you could have scripted this differently in order to have taken this, or was it just bad luck is bad luck?
That was pretty shitty luck. I thought the horse archers and having the shields like I did. I mean, I thought I had that one in the bag, and then did they get a lucky shot off of my commander?
No,
This
I think
is.
it was just a HP route at
Oh,
this point.
no,
Dang.
you're right, it is. It is absolutely a hit point. I didn't catch it the first time.
Yeah, because
So
the commander was still alive at the end of the battle.
this commander is running. The troops are not. So
I
that's what
should have.
happened. He took an arrow to the knee.
Yep.
It was interesting because when we were watching, we noticed that your velites actually held up pretty well under archer fire. But then
Yeah.
it was once they got into melee with the horse tribe. Horse tribe actually have lances, so you don't remember that until they get you in the face.
So yeah, we were looking at this. So they shoot their arrows, or they're and then they go in. And at this point, if you look, you have one dead velite and everything else is still alive. So you've taken no damage whatsoever, except your poor centurion, with I think better armor, got hit for three damage, and then later he takes 2 more. That causes him to run, and that's why you lose this fight. God, that's bad luck, dude.
I believe that was the first failed expansion that I had in the game so far. if I
Then that
remember
one was
correctly.
not your fault at all. Not at all. I can't even see how to do that better, dude.
Statistically doing better than some other players in this game.
A lot of, yeah. You're doing very well at this point. So, well, thank you so much for joining us. It was kind of cool getting a deeper look into here, and dude, I gotta say, I'm very, very impressed with your play so far.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be looking forward to doing this again if you plan on doing it again.
Probably when we get to a war that you are in, then we will be pulling you in and getting your opinion on a war. So go forth and kill somebody.
Sounds good.
Okay, dude. Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you again, Kirby, for subbing in, and hopefully get you to be a regular in this.
We'll see. Thank you.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.